Between these iconic hedges, the field where some of college football's greats have called home. Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia, where these fans are ready to turn the dogs loose. What we have in store for you today, a clash between a couple of SEC teams that could have season-long ramifications. As we'll see, the winners of 3 straight, the Missouri Tigers, taking on the 8th-ranked team in the land, the Georgia Bulldogs. Glad to have you with us for EA Sports College Football. I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack and Jesse Palmer with me in the booth. Guys, we are ready to tee it up. Missouri about to kick off to lift the lid on this one. And they desperately wanted to attempt a return, but decided not to. Instead, they'll take the touchback. A first down for the offense. Quarterback checking the play. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. He'll pull it down and run. The ball squirts free. Defense falls on the ball. Going to be a turnover.
The more hats you have near the football, the more likely you are to cause a fumble. So many guys with their hands wrapping around guys, the ball's bound to pop out occasionally, and you got to be in the right place at the right time.
This crowd trying to make life miserable for this offense. Off the RPO, complete. Excellent job working through the air there, finding a hole in that defense and picking up a first down.
Great job by the quarterback there. He saw the safety bite on the run fake. So as the safety comes running downhill, he now knows he has the slant throw to his receiver on the outside.
Unloads to the wideout. He's got it. Really confident throw and catch there. Big pickup, and they have a first down.
When these wide receivers work the middle of the field, so much of this is feel. Understanding where the holes are in the zone or understanding how to get leverage on a man. And these wide receivers are dangerous nowadays because they do it so fast and see that so quick and make those plays over the middle.
In a competitive conference like the SEC, you just can't afford to start 0-1 if you want to chase a championship. Really important to get off to a good start.
No doubt, in the SEC, you've got to set the tone early. It's all about creating momentum out of the gate. Both of these teams had this game circled all offseason, David. They know what's riding on the line.
There's so much riding on the line. Who gets to Atlanta down the road? Bragging rights, recruiting rights, all this stuff. Once you get in conference play, it means a lot every single week.
They'd love to pick up this third down and get a fresh set with first and goal. He'll throw on third down, buying some time. And there were no creases or crevices to run through, and they shove him out of bounds.
This is why third down is so difficult for quarterbacks, because the defense substitutes. They put faster guys on the field, and they've got all their different exotic looks they've been game planning all week for. Some things you haven't seen on film yet, and it confuses your offensive line. It confuses you.
And he waltzes in for the score. Touchdown, Missouri! They'll try to add another to their lead. And with the extra point, they get the first 7 of the game. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And he found his way to the end zone from the 7 to cap it. He'll bring it out. It's Evans. He gets a block. He's on the loose. And there he goes. He will score. Touchdown, Dogs. Well, maybe they thought if they kicked it into the end zone that he wouldn't dare bring it back. Instead, he just dared them to tackle him, and nobody could. What an explosive return.
And those guys got so much speed, they ain't scared. And you could tell, takes it out, good blocking, give them a little crease, and you could see the speed. You don't put slow guys back deep. You don't see Jesse Palmer returning kicks. No. You see the fast guys, and you see an open space, and boom, he's gone.
Mizzou has it back on the offense coming out on the field. How big is this drive? Scored a touchdown the last time they had it. the 10. And he'll finish the run in the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers. Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Two very different emotions inside the locker rooms of these teams who did battle today. Penn State was able to squeak one out in front of those home fans at Beaver Stadium. In fact, I think in the end, the difference may have been that Happy Valley crowd who leaves happy with the win. It's one game. You don't want to react too much either way. But I think both teams will leave this one with some things to work on.
And he intercepts it. Takes it the other way. And they capitalize not only on the pick, but on the great return to improve this field position.
Well, I can tell you haven't played the position. If you can't step into throws and you can't follow through, it obviously affects your accuracy. And I think the hit on the quarterback right there certainly contributed to that interception.
The give to the back. Really nice run there. Good, solid pickup, and they'll move the sticks with a first down.
Another good run. Man, he has been picking up yards in bunches today. Jesse showing off all the skills.
And he's showing no signs of slowing down, David. This guy just gets better as the game goes on. He is a beast.
And he was going for the touchdown there, and they couldn't make the connection.
And those are tough passes. When you start throwing those balls towards the sidelines, it's a longer throw for the quarterback to make. And I think that's when you see the majority of the misses for guys, the majority of the overthrows and a little bit of inaccuracy start to show itself.
And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. In their vision of that play, someone would run free after making an easy catch. There was nowhere to run and nowhere to go except touchdown Tigers. Made the grab and finished the deal in the end zone. The offense did exactly what it's supposed to do with a start like that one.
When you're set up with that field position, you're thinking touchdowns. You're not thinking field goals. It's exactly what the offense does. It takes advantage of great field position.
Fielded in the end zone, it's Evans. And the ball's free deep in his own territory. And the defense jumps on it, and they get that turnover. Missouri has the offense ready to go on the field. Jesse, a very productive drive last time, wound up with a touchdown.
Yeah, mixing and matching play calling really well. Nice balance on that last one, Dave. Let's see what they can do here in this next drive.
Yeah, and I don't expect anything different. When you put together a drive like that, I would do more of the same. Keep the pace, keep it going.
After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. Looking for a man. It's Horn. Coming after it. Snags it over the middle. And he gets it down to the 4-yard line before he's finally stopped. A terrific run after the catch.
Well, he was putting up big numbers coming into this one. We knew the quarterback was going to go his way early and often. And with that last catch, he's now got over 500 yards receiving on the year.
They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
With just nothing doing on that last run, and they knew coming into this one they were going to be challenged, right? This is one of the best defenses in all of college football. For them to have any shot, they're going to have to do a lot better running the football.
Direct snap. They get him on the ground at the 3-yard line, but this defense is taking some punches.
And with the stuff there, Jesse, on 2nd down, this little 3rd to mid-range, you got 2 downs. What are you thinking here?
Maybe getting your quarterback out on the perimeter and giving him a run-pass option. See if you can get the defense in a bind.
Touchdown, Missouri! And they take it in for 6 more points. How efficient have they been as they extend this lead here in Week 5? And the extra point is true, and the lead balloons to 21. About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown.
Missouri, 28, Georgia, 7.
Coming out with it, it's Evans. Rolling the dice to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. We're ready to get another look at this Bulldog offense. Well, the good news about this drive, Jesse, it can't go worse than last time through a pick on the first play.
No, it certainly can't. I think one good way, David, to help your quarterback turn the page is is just find him an easy completion here and let him get back into a rhythm.
Yeah, or find him an easy handoff. Just hand the football off, maybe get the ground game going, maybe jumpstart this offense a little bit.
Doesn't take this defense a lot of time to get to the quarterback, man. They've got speed all over the place. They hit him so quickly, and because of that, the ball falls incomplete.
The sure hands, it's Evans. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short game there.
Bells and whistles have got to be going off in this quarterback's head now. It's 3rd and long, so you know you're expecting pressure. You got to know where your hot routes are. You got to be able to read the coverage and make sure you get this football out of your hands quickly to not take a sack or worse, turn the football over.
Getting some heat. And the quarterback is knocked down back at the 13. Georgia lining up to punt it away.
Number 15 on to kick it away.
Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. Mizzou has it back in the offense coming out on the field. Leaves it with the back. And he does a really nice job finding open space and making a good gain before the stop is made. 8-yard pickup on first down leaves them with 2nd and short. They'll run it out of the shotgun. That's what you expect from a senior. Don't give them any extra yards. Great tackle there.
Once you get in triple digits, that's a good day for a running back. That's it right there. 100 on the dot. He's had a really nice day. Showed you patience, showed you physicality, showed you a little bit of everything on his way to...
He's loose down the left side. The 10. Touchdown, Tiger. And once he found daylight, it was Katie bar the door, baby.
I love the execution on that play. Great blocking up front just to get the ball carrier an opportunity in the second level of the defense. And then at that point, it was make a guy miss and use the speed. That was a perfectly executed play.
About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. He'll bring it out. It's Evans. They make the stop, but not before he wraps up this first period with a huge game.
Missouri 35, Georgia 7.
First down to start the drive after the break. From the gun, the running back has it. Rumbles ahead for a pickup of 5 to the 29.
I like this guy as a running back because he can run between the tackles and he can also go outside. He can really do it all.
Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. He'll do it himself. Quarterback gets the first down. And the explosiveness, the big gainer gets it to the 49-yard line.
Well, this is one of the fastest quarterbacks in college football, and that's why the option's a good idea. Because if he can get out in space and he has a chance to get downfield, he is really difficult to tackle, and he's very difficult to catch. As you saw in that last play, getting a first down.
It'll be a first down from the 49-yard line. Gonna run it. It's Frazier. Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7.
You know, I think a big part of this isn't necessarily scoring a touchdown on that play, but you're just trying to get your offensive line in the rhythm of the game. Let those big fellas get lathered up.
Oh, and they'll try to catch him with a pass. Just a short pass to the tight end. He works his way inside the 30 down to the 29 and picks up a first down.
And that's why QBs love their tight ends so much, right? Especially when they're athletic, because they make short throws turn into long gains. Because of his ability after the catch, it's so unique and special. He is dominant in this offense.
To the air, it's Ball. Moves away as he feels pressure. He scrambled forward and got a few and turned that into a positive play.
You see a lot of quarterbacks get in trouble when they start forcing things. He did a really good job. He wanted to throw the football. You could tell. Drops back, nothing open. It's okay. I'm just going to take off, get what I can get.
Headed to the end zone. And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Georgia. I'm not sure anyone even breathed on that running back by the time he got into the end zone.
Nah, so many blockers out in front. Where are the defenders? Man, it's a good idea. You know, the guy with the ball, that's usually the guy we want to go tackle. Go get him.
Not going to risk a return here. He'll make the fair catch. Missouri has the offense ready to go on the field. This has been exactly the way you draw things up, David. The offense has really been moving the football.
And it's been great execution. They've done exactly what they've wanted to do. Build the lead. Now Palmer's a different animal. Now you got to protect it.
You can tell they were paying attention in practice this week in the film room because they have gone out, everybody right now on the same page.
Quarterback and running back set up in the pistol. Looking to throw on second down. What a snag by the defense. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception. And the senior just snatched the ball out of the air and gave it back to his offense. Looking for a productive play on first down. He's going to pass. Caught in the backfield, it's Frazier. And he'll run across the sidelines after the good gain.
Yeah, and you see running backs in today's football, they play wide receiver basically for you, but you got to find a guy that you can throw it to, and you know he's going to catch the ball consistently.
Quarterback checking off. Looking to throw its ball. Makes his connection. And he goes down after making the grab. Picks up a few, but still short of the first down. They're going to try to throw for it on third down. It's complete. They emptied the roster, but every receiver they had out there, it seemed, and they were able to pick up enough for the first down.
Yeah, when you do that with all that speed on the field, you spread it out. What do you got to do? Find the matchup. Find the speed advantage with one of my wide receivers. Get that good matchup. Get the easy first down.
On the run, and he'll slide to avoid the big hit.
Nice job by the QB. Sit back in the pocket. You can tell he wants to throw the football, go through his progressions. Nothing home, take off and slide. I love the slide at the end. Don't take a big shot.
Out of the gun, they'll run it inside. So close to that end zone, he could almost taste it, but it'll be first and goal for this offense.
You don't always have to run the sexy plays, right? It doesn't have to always be up-tempo and fast and spread and doing all this stuff. Sometimes you just lower your shoulder. Sometimes you just run powerfully. You get the first down, and that's all that matters.
Here we go.
And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, Bulldogs. He'll try to tack on one more. And the extra point is good, but they still trail 35-21. Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. Mizzou has it back in the offense coming out on the field. After that last pick, David, they really need to take care of the ball this time.
No doubt. And Palmer, I want to know what Spurrier said to you on the sideline after a pick.
Do that again, and you'll be right here beside me for the rest of the game. You got to go out. You got to call your plays, and I hope this coaching staff isn't going to be afraid to throw it this route.
We've reached the 2-minute warning, and they will try to build on what has already been a dominant first-half performance. This offense has a second down play. Dropping back, it's Horn. Right down the middle. Finds a man by himself. And they'll finally catch up to him, but not before a big chunk of yardage is picked up.
Man, this offense is so dangerous, Reese. They've got dudes all over the field that can make plays. There's a big gainer in the pass game.
You get a chunk of yards like that, and now the defense is really on its heels. Escapes trouble. Crosses the 30. He's got away. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a first down.
It's so hard to defend these guys. You know, it's 1st and 10. Everything's available to you. You don't know if it's run or pass, and then you add in the scrambling element with the quarterback. He does a great job scrambling outside, getting outside the pocket, and then at the end of the play, not taking a hit, getting a first down, new set of downs for the offense.
Wants to throw on first down. Finds his man. It's Jones. Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down.
And that's why, if you're the offensive coordinator, you've got to find as many ways as possible to get this guy going. Just get him the ball close to the line of scrimmage. Doesn't need to be a throw deep down the field. He's so dynamic when he has the ball in his hands. You saw it right there.
He'll set up to throw. He's got it. And he was pushing for that goal line, but the knee stopped him at the 2.
Love the location of the throw on that slant pass. Put it out in front of the receiver, put it on his face mask so he can catch it and try to advance.
A very productive play on first down is now touchdown Tigers. And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house. They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point is true, and the lead balloons to 21. They got the late touchdown on the board, now about to kick it away and hoping the defense can keep them from answering. So much for the touchback. Here he comes. Pulled down at the 18, and the decision to bring it out of the end zone was not a good one. And Georgia ready to go back to work on offense. So late in the half, this is really an opportunity, David, maybe to swing the momentum in their favor.
Dang right. There's no time to be conservative. We're a little bit down. Listen, I just think this is a point with the offense that they can prove. Like, we're here. We're going to create something now that we can build on in the second half.
Coach said all week he wanted to be aggressive. This is a great opportunity to show that right now. At the end of the first half, try and generate some momentum, score some.
Makes the catch down the right side. There's a timeout call as this offense tries to find a way to draw a little closer.
Well, Reese, you and I were talking about this before the game. How is this defense going to be able to deal with all the speed they have offensively? You saw them just rip off a big play.
And, Jesse, now their head's spinning just a little bit. Give up a big chunk play, and it's right back at them. Here he goes breaking the pocket. Couldn't find anybody to throw to. He'll just toss it away. It'll be second down.
Got to give the defense a lot of credit, man, because they've come into this hostile environment, and they've quieted the crowd down with some of the plays they're making. They've got a nice lead right here, and they're making it hard for this quarterback to go to work.
Going to the draw. And he's able to find a little bit of running room before they get him down. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. Just a few seconds remaining here as they try to put something up before halftime. Now the quarterback changing the original play call. They'll go to the air on 3rd and short. Got his man on the right. And he got enough for the first down, but somebody put the hit stick upside his head. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. And it's right down the boulevard. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin and our halftime update. Georgia will kick it deep to start the second half. Fair catch called for and made. Missouri has the offense ready to go on the field. They open this third quarter on top, and they've built the lead on the strength of that running game.
And they made a huge...
Gonna take a shot. He's got it down the left side. The defense got caught that time, and they finally get him on the ground at the 41.
And a big reason why this team has the lead in this game is because of plays like that. They know they've got firepower throwing the ball. They've got the dudes outside that can make things happen. You saw it in the first half, and you see it here again early in the third quarter.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. The inside handoff. Breaks the tackle. They get him on the ground after he gets enough to move the sticks.
And, David, how demoralizing does it have to be for a defense when you know they're going to run it, everyone in the stadium knows they're going to run it, and still you cannot stop it?
There's nothing more demoralizing as a defensive lineman because it ticks you off. It gets in your head. You know that guy's going to come off and smack you, and you got to do something about it. I think the defense, maybe time to start committing more guys to stopping that run, not worrying about the pass as much.
They've been running it, but now the pass. Lets it fly deep downfield. Touchdown, Missouri! And the route is on. And wait just a second. The official's going to take a second look at this one. He has been surgical. Precision passes. Using the scalpel, the fine instrument, rather than the blunt one.
And the defense has had absolutely no answer for it. He's been down their throats all game long, a step ahead, understanding what he's seeing, and just destroying this defense.
And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Dynamite matchup this week, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. San Diego State is putting on an offensive clinic. They've built a big lead, and this one is approaching blowout territory. They're up by 24 over Wyoming. We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should know about it.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Trying to find his man on first down. Quarterback doing what he does best. He can move. Makes a connection. He gets those chains moving, gets it out to the 42-yard line.
Nice job by the receiver on the back end there, too. He sees his quarterback on the run moving, and he just works to get himself open to give his guy a place to throw the football. They're able to connect, and they keep the drive going.
And they got him for the sack.
And listen, the quarterback drops back, and he's going through his progressions. We see zone, but just couldn't do anything about it. This defensive line, this pressure, getting to the quarterback, getting him on the ground.
That's the last thing you want as an offense, a negative play, a sack on first down. Back to pass, it's ball. Pocket starts to collapse. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
All right, you dug yourself a little bit of a hole offensively. You know you're going to have to throw it here in the second half. You're going to have to make sure, though, you do a better job up front with your pass pro. You got to keep your quarterback standing upright.
Lofts one high and deep. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have squeezed it. Georgia sends out the punt team. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. He'll call for the fair catch here. Mizzou has it back in the offense coming out on the field. They unleashed an aerial assault last time that took them right to the end zone, David.
So, Reese, with that drive, I think you've accomplished something you wanted to accomplish. Make this defense think. You put them back on their heels. Now, shoot, Palmer, you might be able to slip a few runs in on this drive to really jack them up.
Yeah, I like that idea, but I also like the fact that speed kills. And they've got it at the receiver position, so if you've got one-on-one matchups, man, take advantage.
And the pass is intercepted. Looking for more room. And he's going to run it all the way back. Touchdown, Dogs! The AT unit on the field. And it's perfect. They're lining up to kick it off after the pick six, and that defense will come out feeling it. Not going to risk a return here. He'll make the fair catch. Missouri has the offense ready to go on the field. Well, the good news is they threw a touchdown pass last time. It was just to the wrong team, Jesse.
Well, that's an unfortunate part of the game for quarterbacks, but guess what? They do happen, so you've got to be able to turn the page here and lead this offense.
Well, I think you know this defense is going to be aggressive. They're going to jump routes. They're going to play aggressive. You got to take advantage of that. Maybe use that this time to your advantage.
They feed him again. And they try to run inside, and there is nowhere to go.
This defense obviously knows they've got to be able to stop the run if they're going to win this football game. And you wonder if they've been able to make some tweaks and adjustments to try and take this running back away.
It'll be 3rd and short from their own 33. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
You know, they went QB design run, but there just was nowhere for the quarterback to go. Couldn't go outside, and there was just way too many bodies on the inside for him to get anything positive. They lose a yard.
Makes a move. Not able to pop the big return, but they've got the ball back and ready to go with a fresh possession. We're ready to get another look at this Bulldog offense. That last drive won't go on the highlight reel after ending in a punt. They'd like to be more productive this time, David.
And I think this offense has to be a little bit more balanced. Find a little balance between the run, Jesse, and working in that pass.
And I think, too, David, it's just going to take a spark. It just takes one play to get this thing picked up and going.
Solid pickup of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6. Wants to throw. It's ball. He finds his man. And he picks up the first down, and he does it. I'm not going to say spin move. That was a pirouette. It was elegant. It was beautiful. Here they come, 1st and 10 from the 48. He's looking to throw it. Lets it fly on the move. And he makes the catch inside the 25. And chunk plays are the name of the game, and they get one here before the defense finally makes the stop. The Bulldogs will snap it on 1st and 10. They're in the red zone, and they'll pass it. Pulls it in. It's Robinson.
I want to get my running backs the ball in space as much as possible. And sometimes it doesn't work in the running game. But I can throw it to him. I can try to create some space out wide, dump him the football, let him make some catches, and see if I can't get some big plays out of him.
Got some room headed to the goal line. And he sprints to the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia. Lining up for the PAT. Right down the boulevard. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they finished it off with an exclamation point, running it in from the 19. And they thought about a return, then thought better of it. They'll bring it out to the 25. Mizzou has it back on the offense coming out on the field. After giving up that last touchdown, they still got the lead, but now feeling a little bit of pressure to answer with one of their own, David.
And
he's running in the open. And he will finally go out of bounds after another big gain, and they are absolutely gashing them with this running game. This offense lining up now at the 48-yard line on 1st and 10. They're getting this guy lathered up. There to make the stop, and we've played 3 in this one.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter of play. Missouri 49, Georgia 30.
First down to start the drive after the break. The secondary walks up on the line, showing press coverage. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. Trying to impose their will on the ground as he stopped after a 5-yard pickup to the 33.
It's a point in the game, I think, as a coaching staff where you really challenge your offensive line to go win the football game, right? You've got to lead late. We're going to run the football, and the defense and everybody in the stadium knows that's what's going to happen. Can we run the ball down their throats and impose our will? That's what this offense right now is trying to do.
Ball spotted at the 27. It's 1st and 10. Quick handoff. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
It's going to be tough sledding for the offense here. They're trying to ice this game by running the football and bleeding the clock. They've got a pretty good lead here late in the game, but the defense knows the run's coming, right? So they're going to be loading the line of scrimmage, getting stops like what they just did. It'll be interesting to see what the offense does on this next one.
They make the stop after the catch, and still some work to do to pick up that first down.
This offense is not letting up, guys. They've got a lead here late, and they are still taking shots. They're still looking for explosive plays. This defense just has not had an answer here all game long.
Third down, and this crowd will blow out a vocal cord to help this defense. To the air, it's Horn. Zings it complete to the right. He was smelling that end zone, but they get him down at the 4 after the big pass play.
Well, this defense has given up some big plays in this game so far, but they've got a lot of talent on that side of the football. Someone has to step up here, make a play, get a stop, and put their team in a position to win.
And he'll get this one back to the line of scrimmage, but no farther than that.
It's now 2nd and goal.
Can the D deny them on 2nd and goal? They'll go with a direct snap. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Tigers. That one ought to give them firm control of this game, and they have gotten things going here, about to move to 4-1. And now with the extra point, they're up by 18 here in the 4th.
Have yourself a day, young fella. You know why they handed him the ball a lot? Because he did that. That's his 4th trip to pay dirt. A little bit of everything. What a great back. And 4 touchdowns on the day.
And Georgia ready to go back to work on offense. Wide receiver shows motion. Quick pass on the jet motion. Not a whole lot of room there. 3 yards maybe. 2nd and 7.
Well, and on these little push passes, timing is so important. You're trying to snap it right as he's getting a full head of steam. When he gets the ball, he's hitting the outside, David. It puts the defense in such a difficult spot.
You immediately have to be rotating when you see that motion, so everybody's got to communicate and kind of bump over. That's why offenses love to run it. It makes the defense communicate and see if you can just get him out of a spot.
Here comes the offense on 1st down. The receivers often will run their route based on a side adjustment. Trying to make magic on the scramble. Good run on the play, and he slides to avoid the hit.
You know, QBs want to make those big plays. They want to put up the big stacks, but when nothing's there, sometimes you just tuck the ball, get a minimal gain. I like the slide, by the way, too. Get down and don't take a big hit.
Fires to the wideout. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. And he was loose and in the open field and on his way. A tremendous pickup on that one.
And there's no quit in this team. Obviously, they're trailing late in the game, but they're trying to make it happen. We've seen 2 big plays now, back-to-back. They're putting pressure on this defense.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Quarterback empties his backfield. Dropping back, it's Ball. He's got his man. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a 1st down.
When you play zone coverage, everybody drops back. Everybody has eyes on the quarterbacks. You're not really looking at the wide receivers a lot of times, so they can slip in those little cracks, and the quarterback can really make precise throws. Great job, great play, great throw, great game.
Going to try to get it himself. Got some room, headed to the goal line. And he's sprinting. He'll take it all the way. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
And he's in for his 3rd rushing touchdown. You college fantasy football players, that is what you want to see. +6, +6, +6. Let's go.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Guys, let's take a look at what's happening in a great college football matchup. Western Michigan is in front. They've been impressive today, but they still have to finish the job, and that is not a given. They're up by 7 over Oregon State. We've got our eye on things here and everything else going on right now, and any updates, you'll see it here, guys.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
And I think if you're the head coach, defensively now, obviously, you've got 3 timeouts in your back pocket. You're trailing at this point, and the offense is going to be running the football, trying to bleed the clock. They're going to take as much time off the game clock as they can before snapping it. You've got to start thinking about using some of those timeouts.
Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. They're going to keep this drive going. They'll have to make a play on 3rd and long from the 26. Picked his way through the traffic for 6, but it'll be 4th down and 3 yards to go. So Missouri will have to punt it away. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. We've reached the 2-minute warning, and this offense will be quite content just to drain the rest of the time away. And here comes the punt team. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. And you make the stop, and that is exactly what you want out of your punt cover unit. We're ready to get another look at this Bulldog offense. What a good mix of plays, keeping that defense off balance last time, David.
And Reese, they don't know if it's run or if it's pass. They got them right where they want it. This defense doesn't know how to react from getting punched in the mouth on that last drive.
So in this next drive, David, I think you keep running the football because that sets up the play action, it sets up the RPO game, and then you keep this defense guessing.
Big plays like that makes play calling so much easier. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 34. He'll throw it. Got a man. It's Humphries. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. The hurry up now. 2nd down. Clock ticking. He's looking to throw. Quarterback moving out of the pocket. And with not much doing downfield, he found his parents open in the stands and threw it to him. If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum. Looking for a man. It's Ball. Trying to make magic with his feet. Keeps it himself and gets the first. And they'll finally bring him down after he rips off a huge play. Offense rushing to the line of scrimmage. Clock is stopped for the 1st down. They'll try to get it off quickly. Now adjusting. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf.
And the quarterback gets hit again. We already know this defense has gotten home to him multiple times in this game. So here you are. You're trailing in the game. Defense knows you're going to throw it. They're pinning their ears back. You can't feel very confident right now if you're the play caller, and certainly if you're the quarterback, that you're going to have time to throw.
Give him 6 and give them a chance with the late touchdown. Still alive in this one. Obvious thinking here. Get the 2-point conversion now, and all you'll need is a field goal to tie. They want to throw it. Trying to get to it. And he fires a dirt ball. Man, oh man, would he like to have that pass back. Time is of the essence. Just under a minute to go as they line up with the onside kick. Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll go to the sideline and try to make adjustments. Few anxious moments there, but the hands team true to its name as they make the grab and get the ball.
Yeah, and this is why you put your hands team on the field most of the time when you know it's coming, and you put those guys that are great catchers of the football. The first guys, what do? They go block. They go blow somebody up. The next guys catch the football, secure it, get your butt on the ground. And most of the time when you do this, the ball game is over.
And the defense backs him up, making the tackle in the backfield. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. Missouri has the clock on its side. The run to the right. And they'll stop him before he gets started. They'll lose yardage on this play. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. They've got them pinned deep in their own end, and this crowd trying to help keep them there. They go to the ground. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
How frustrating is that? You're that running back. Where are you supposed to go? There was absolutely no lane for him on that play.
Missouri will have to send out the punt team. Now, if you're really worried about the block, I guess you could think about taking the safety here in the free kick. You want to talk about building confidence? Coming through with clutch plays, making the winning plays at the right time can really set the course for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Reese, maturity and experience matters. And this team has guys that have played a lot of snaps. They've seen a lot of looks, and they've lost close games like this in the past. That wasn't the case today, David. Too many guys out there making big-time plays.
And I think belief is what you build. That confidence, you know you're going to win. You don't think you're going to win. You know you're going to make that play in the big moment that continues to build on week-to-week success. And you look up and you're like, dang, we strung a couple wins together.
That's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, our entire broadcast team, I'm Reese Davis. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.